basketball has been brought to you by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. By Wheaties, the natural goodness of 100%.
And the Indiana Hoosiers have reached it. Reached the top by winning games when time was precious. Like last Sunday, Jay Edwards winning for the Hoosiers against Purdue with just 3 seconds left, 64-62. Today, Indiana defends the top of the mountain against the Michigan Wolverines on ABC's College Basketball. Assembly Hall, Indiana University, sold out and solid red as usual. And why not? The Indiana Hoosiers are on top of the Big Ten Conference with a 10-1 record. As you look at the standings, you can understand why. There is an enormous supportive wave of the Hoosiers this year. Because when this season started, nobody, and I mean nobody, including Bobby, expected the Indiana Hoosiers to be on top of the Big Ten 10-1, Dick Vitale.
I'm hilarious right now because Bobby Knight walked over and he hugged Bill Frieda and gave him a handshake. And everybody knows the two have been really battling. But, you know, you look at coaching right now. I define coaching the ability to get maximum out of a team. And when you look at Bobby Knight this year, he's my choice lock to be coach of the year. He's gotten maximum. And it started with Jay Edwards. It's been superb. If you have to look at a most valuable player in Indiana, Knight says Joe Hillman. I say Jay Edwards.
Michigan was everybody's preseason favorite, considered favorite, I think, to most people. They haven't reached that point in their performance, but certainly Glen Rice has.
Glen Rice has been superb. A lot of people will make a case for Glen Rice as the most valuable player in the Big Ten, especially if Michigan can get a little tighter. And if they win today, they can make life interesting in the Big Ten. Rice is a great rebounder. He's a tremendous scorer, and he is their catalyst and their key player.
The point of this game, if Indiana wins, they got a 3-game cushion with 6 to play. Michigan has to win to stay in the hunt.
Ball. Brought to you by Pontiac. We build excitement. By Stroh's and Stroh Light. Fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste. Stroh's is spoken here. And by AT&T, the right choice.
All right, let's check into the starting lineups now for the two teams today. The Indiana Hoosiers, of course, at home wearing white. Michigan will be in the dark. Rice, Mills, Vaught, Robinson, Griffin. You see their average points here. The point I think we would need to make at this juncture as we start this game, Michigan across the front line goes 6'7", 6'10", and 6'9". That's big. Indiana will go with Hillman, Anderson, Jadlow, Edwards, and Lyndon Jones. You see their scoring averages with Edwards leading the team. Indiana across the front at 6'9", at 6'2", and 6'9". So Michigan with a decided inside edge. And Dick, here are the assignments you feel so important going into the ball game.
I think it's essential for Michigan to get an early lead. Also, Vaught and Mills have to really play well inside and use off the bench to give them some scoring inside. Then you talk about Indiana, they got to use those screens. Bill Frieda says, hey, wait a minute, those screens are illegal. And then you look at Indiana right now, they're going to have to get some good perimeter shooting for their people on the perimeter, Hillman and Edwards.
And we're ready to go. Jadlow goes high. Indiana controls. Edwards gives it away to Jones, and the Hoosiers bring it up. They've won 14 in a row at home. Inside, Anderson. He's banged hard. He is fouled and will go to the line.
They worked on that in practice yesterday as we look at the general on the sideline, getting that good angle for the entry. There's the angle down inside, the good pass to Mr. Oh, he gets banged, Eric Anderson. He's playing with a dislocated thumb. In fact, he went over to see a hand specialist in Indianapolis to have that taken care of Wednesday.
Glen Rice is charged with the foul, and that's the man that Michigan can ill afford to have get in foul trouble.
Another guy also, Keith, is Ramil Robinson in the first confrontation. Robinson fouled out with about 8 minutes to go on a controversial call.
Almost stolen by Hillman. Indiana out to a 1-0 lead as Ramil Robinson, who plays with torn ligaments in his right thumb, brings it up. Mills is 52. Mike Griffin, they won't check him too closely. Here's the gunner for Michigan, and that's why. Glen Rice.
He has really become a consistent player. Last year he was very good at home, but very inconsistent on the road. He has improved in that area.
Joe Hillman being checked by Glen Rice. Feeds inside Jadlow, back outside Lyndon Jones. He gives it back inside.
Indiana really, on the interior, is one of the better passing teams in the country, Keith. Very unselfish, always looking for the high percentage shot.
Robinson gets his first personal, so the two key men of all key men for Michigan are the first ones to get personal fouls.
Hillman with that little dump down into Jadlow, kicked it back out.
This time Jones takes it in, and he's short off the front of the iron. Robinson runs it for Michigan. He's fouled.
What a strong body.
Count it.
Great body control. He hangs in the air. He's got super strength on that body. Came out of Cambridge Ridge Latin High School, the same high school that produced Patrick Ewing. There's the penetration. Look at the penetration. Robinson takes it up. He splits the two defenders. He hangs in the air, draws the contact, and converts it.
And Jay Edwards gets the foul. So the most important people in this ball game on both rosters are the first ones to get fouled. Robinson on the line. Basket was good. Free throw is good. It is 5-1. Michigan lead. Bill Frieder's Michigan Wolverines have won 4 of their last 5 trips here to Assembly Hall.
Last week, Indiana fell behind against Purdue and came back and won at the buzzer. But this team has so many more athletes, Michigan, and I don't believe they can fall behind and win here.
But it's worth noting that Bob Knight's team is a team that doesn't know a thing about quitting. They just keep clawing and scratching, and they won so many games very late. This is Jones.
Great isolation, one-on-one, Lyndon Jones with the crossover step. No one rotates over defensively.
Robinson got it.
Playing with a lot of confidence, Keith.
He's got 5 points already in the ball game as Joe Hillman brings it up.
Watch Indiana setting a lot of screens. Watch the action away from the ball. No, Jadlow trying to post inside. They missed him.
Indiana won at Ann Arbor, 71-70. Anderson misses. Jadlow tips it.
No one's really rotating over. Defensively in a man-to-man situation, you've got to give help.
Whistle traveling. Michigan turns it over.
Good call by Gary Muncy. Muncy, along with Phil Bover, are 2 of the better officials in the Big Ten. And there are some quality refs. I know I've been really tough, Keith, but there really have been some quality guys as well. Tom Rooker, Eddie Hightower, the 2 we're looking at here today. Teddy Valentine on the crew is a young guy, just starting out his 3rd year, I believe, in the Big Ten, but has good potential.
Jones, open again. Won't go. Inside, some real muscle applied, and Michigan comes away with it.
Michigan certainly has some outstanding athletes. Don't have a lot of depth in that backcourt.
Mills won't go down. Rebound, Rice. Finally, Hillman gets it for Indiana.
It's an amazing story. Hillman playing in a 3-guard concept. Look at that drive down the lane. As a youngster initially, Keith, didn't have a scholarship, was going to come from Glendale, California, but they finally had some aid when he arrived and gave him a scholarship.
And the score is tied at 7 at 17-12 to go in the first half.
He's the first player Bobby Knight's recruited from out of California.
Inside to Griffin.
He's got to look at the basket a little bit more, Mike. Good
Rice
shooter.
won't go. Rebound, Jadlow.
Michigan not going to the boards offensively. Indiana allowing only 1 shot.
Edwards.
What a look. What a pass.
Got it.
Oh, baby, they love that in Bloomington, Indiana. He is a super passer as well as a shooter. I have great respect for the knowledge of the general, but if Jay Edwards is not the MVP for Indiana, then they got a scoop. What penetration, the little layup by Jadlow created by, I disagree with you, General. He says Joel Hillman is MVP.
Jadlow converts it, and Indiana leads by 3, 10-7. Mark Hughes in for Michigan. Terry Mills out. He's a front liner. Big fella. Loy Vaught goes inside to Hughes. Rice is posted up inside, can't get it to him. Rice has got a mismatch in there. He's got Jones trying to handle him.
Yep. They switch constantly.
That's Hughes from outside, and good. And it's 10-9.
He's a roll age guy. He's a guy who gives you a little relief, comes off the bench, steady role player. Hillman's developed a lot of shake and bake to his dribble moves.
Watch your hands.
Watch the screens. Do they lay screens in the
Well, that's how they beat him over at Ann Arbor. They just screened him into the loss. Jadlow outside. Hillman couldn't reach it, and Robinson runs it out of there for the Wolverines. Rice is open.
He's a stand-up shooter, Keith. He's an up-and-down player. He's got to develop a little bit more to his game in terms of his penetration with the dribble. Look at the screen by Jadlow trying to free Hillman.
The walking screen. That's
yeah, you're supposed to be stationary.
This is Anderson.
Thumb doesn't bother him. It's the guide hand, the left hand. When you shoot, you use the left hand as your guide hand.
12-11, Indiana on top by 1, 15-20 to go first half.
Quality basketball, Keith. Both teams very intense, a lot of emotion, but really executing well offensively.
Loy Vaught checked by Jadlow, shoots over him, got it.
What a shooter he is. He's been on top throughout the year as one of the better field goal percentage shooters in America.
He is the best.
He's the best right now, yeah. I love watching Indiana lay those screens. I wouldn't like to coach against those screens. They screen better than any team in America.
This is Hillman, and
oh, that's on the rim.
Counted, it's on the rim.
Great call by Bova and Muncy, both on top of the action. That's okay, Bobby Knight said. Very placid.
Timeout, Michigan 13, Indiana 12, 14:51 to play in the first half. We're at Assembly Hall, Indiana University in Bloomington.
I see defensively as we watch at Hillman, Keith, for Michigan, no one's rotating over and giving any kind of help. He goes right down the lane, Hillman. Hughes doesn't come over and give help. And that's a no-no defensively. You can put a truck through that lane. You got to come over, get into the lane, and take away the penetration.
Wolverines by 1. They have the ball. Mike Griffin has yet to take a shot in the ball game. This is Rumeal Robinson. He's guarded by Jones. They take it inside. The ball is slapped loose, and stolen. Edwards comes out of the melee with it. He's got Griffin leaning, and foul Griffin.
He created that play, Jay Edwards. He drew the contact. What a year he's having. From out of Marion, Indiana, won 3 consecutive state championships. By the way, they just reinstated, as we look at him right here, see how the head fake and he leans in? He created the contact. Here's a little item for you, Keith. They reinstated Mr. Edwards on scholarship. He was not on scholarship for the first semester. He's paying his own way. Bobby Knight wanted to give him responsibilities to learn how to apply for financial aid because of his problems off the court. As everybody knows, they've been documented. He was at a rehabilitation center for 10 days because of some drug problems, but seems to have it all together now.
14-13, Indiana back to the lead. All 5 starters have scored. Rice with a little fake, gets Edward out of the play, misses the shot, rebound Hillman.
Rice has got to drive to the goal a little bit more. He's constantly looking jump shot, jump shot.
Hillman has Hughes coming out to check him now. Griffin now move it over and let Rice picks up the chore again. Inside, Edwards is alone and missed it. Gets it back, missed it.
They have Mike Griffin playing against Jay Edwards, and he ran him into a screen and got open for a little layup inside, but didn't convert. Man-to-man defense. Indiana does a lot more switching now than they did it early in Bobby Knight's career.
Vaught again. He's 2 for 2.
He can shoot the basketball. He's got great touch. He's making himself an NBA player. Has 1 more year of eligibility at Michigan.
Michigan back to the lead by 1. Sean Higgins will come when there's an opportunity for Michigan.
Mike Griffin trying to deny the ball, not let Edwards get the ball. He's got a lot of size on him. He's trying to slide through the screens.
Inside Jadlow, they almost lose it. Jones saved it.
Jay's got to learn to move a little bit more without the ball, number 3. See, right now he's got the advantage with the ball in his hand.
They had Anderson open, missed him. This is Jones. He tries to force it. The ball is blocked. Picked up by Anderson.
I like
what I found.
I'll tell you one thing, Keith. I really like him. I've been singing his praises. Bobby Knight says before he becomes a good player, he has to develop work ethic.
Heck, he's still growing.
Bobby doesn't think he works hard enough.
Robinson misses. Jadlow fighting for the rebound. Off to Hillman. Ahead it goes to Jones. He's in front, and he missed it.
He anticipated the block shot. Ramil's got the great legs.
Robinson on the other end.
Bobby Knight sang his praises to me yesterday. He really likes Ramil Robinson.
We got a feature on him at halftime. You'll enjoy it. He's a interesting young man. A little travel there by Hillman.
He's a class act with a capital C, Ramil Robinson, as we look at Joe Hillman.
Higgins is in. Griffin is out. Change for Michigan. No changes yet for Indiana.
Bobby Knight told me yesterday he nearly was the coach at Wisconsin. In 1968, he went there. He was ready to take the job, came back, and he could not believe, as he's trying to work the officials right now, there was an early release, and it bothered him to hear it was released, and he said no and decided to stay at West Point.
Inside pass, look to Robinson. A good block from behind by Anderson, but it's picked up inside and scored by the Wolverines. Higgins just into the ball game, number 24. He got that basket now. Indiana has had 3 opportunities, cripples almost, but they have not converted them. And right now, Michigan's out to a 4-point lead.
They do such a great job moving without the basketball.
Anderson.
See, there's the lane I'm talking about. No one's really rotating over.
Clean block by Vaught.
When you beat a player offensively, your teammates have to rotate over and give you help.
Inside Vaught over Anderson.
He's got great touch. What touch he has. As a look at Bill Frieda, going for his 6th consecutive 20-game win season.
Michigan out by 6 at 11:10 to go first half. Hillman out of the corner. It falls back in.
Steady, solid player. Averaged over 41 points a game in high school. He scored more in one game than I scored in a career.
Mills is back in for Michigan. Hughes is out.
You know, Michigan leads the nation.
Nah, I missed one. He's 3 for 4.
Shooting 62% right now is really not a surprise. They lead the nation in field goal percentage. They'd also led it last year.
Well, they're so big on the front line, they ought to be laying them up.
They got some athletes, don't they?
Yeah.
Watch Indiana now try to carve the defense apart by laying a lot of screens for one another.
Jadlow sets one on Vaught.
Oh, wide open.
Inside Anderson. Oh, Vaught almost had it clean. Almost.
See, but not a good defensive play by Vaught. He gets picked off. He gets behind the offensive player. Now watch the screens right now. There's number 3 now going to go lay a screen. Look at the screen by Edwards. Now here comes Anderson. Here's another one. Jadlow lays one. He's wide open. A little bit late getting him the ball. See, the one thing you have to do against the screens, Keith, you either have to switch number 1, you have to communicate with each other, or slide through and let the defensive player get through one another.
Brian Sloan, 45, is now in for Indiana, and he's like some guys I've known in the past, like Stevenson, the center that played at Alabama, now with the Dolphins. When they put a screen or a block on you, they just stick to you. You can't get rid of him.
He's unbelievable. He's the best screener in the nation. He's a designated screener.
Anderson on the line, shooting 2, misses the first one.
There's the entry down inside. Look at Anderson. Here comes Vaught. He's a little bit late. Ooh, it looks like he gets all ball.
Got the second. 5 team fouls on Michigan. Timeout call. 10 minutes, 23 seconds to go first half. Michigan 22, Indiana 19. Well, this is the way these 2 teams have played in the Big Ten. Indiana particularly winning games when you had to win them. If you're going to win a championship, you've got to win those kind of games. And the Hoosiers have done it.
That's the difference between a great year and a good year, winning the one-point basketball game. Michigan getting good execution.
Griffin's first shot of the ball game. It is no good. The rebound comes outside, picked up by Hughes, who's back in, and Demetrius Calip now is in. 6'1" sophomore guard who's getting more and more playing time as the season wears on. He's out there in front now with Higgins.
He has to get playing time as they lost Kirk Taylor to a knee injury for the entire season.
Basket by number 52, Terry Mills.
Terry Mills finally gets a deuce inside. He really has to develop a lot better work ethic and a little bit more foot speed. He should jump rope a lot more to get a little bit more quickness with his feet.
Indiana has Jamal Weeks into the ball game now for speed. They have Oliphant in the game to give their front line a little respite, but Jay Edwards stays in.
Watch Indiana away from the screen. There goes 45, laying the screen.
Oliphant looking for a roll, doesn't get it. Charging foul.
Oliphant played well at practice yesterday. Offensive foul. They rotate over. That's what we talk about, giving help defensively. Here comes Michigan now, going to give some help in this series. Oh, what an excellent role player. There's Mike Griffin giving his body up, takes the charge. The little intangibles that bring you to the winner's circle. There's Griffin laying some screens, too. He said, if you can do it, Sloan, I can do it, too.
Lob it to Mills, saves it, flips it way back, and Griffin has it.
Not a good angle for that entry by Griffin to Mills. You really want to get foul line extended and making that entry, like right there, what he did.
Muscle inside. Hughes trying for the basket, and Michigan banging the boards. Michigan with the size advantage up front. If they can hang in and just keep on banging, they've got a chance to win the game.
Big game for Michigan, a little bigger than it is for Indiana. Indiana wins it right here. It's like Lock City for the Big Ten championship after what happened yesterday. Ohio State losing to Northwestern, and also Wisconsin blowing out Illinois. Amazing.
Well, I thought there was a game played last night that not many people may have heard the score, but Minnesota, which has had so much luck at home, or so much success at home, not luck, went to Iowa. They got beat 99-61.
Yeah, they have to learn how to win on the road. They're unbeatable at Williams Arena.
Edwards, back iron, rebound, Oliphant.
Oliphant getting some PT. He earned it yesterday. You want to know this? How many teams have a double practice? They practiced two times yesterday, in the morning and then in the afternoon, Indiana, for this game.
Demetrius Caleb, 13, gives it to Higgins. Higgins shot partially blocked. Griffin saves it back to Higgins.
Good play by Sean Higgins coming off the bench, giving him some offense.
Higgins now with 4. Robinson leading all scoring for Michigan with 8, 27-21 Wolverines.
Caleb trying to give him some good defense on the ball.
Meek on the line, forcing it, hits the line out of bounds. Rice and Robinson back for Michigan. And Hillman is coming back along with Jones for Indiana. But right now, we've got a timeout. 7 minutes, 59 seconds to play first half and a 6-point Wolverine lead. Sean Higgins, Ramil Robinson, Terry Mills, Glen Rice, and Mark Hughes. No, it's, Hughes.
Robinson's deceptively quick. You look at him, you don't think he has great quickness, Keith, but when he has that ball, he's very deceptive. They'll try to lock post inside. I'll tell you, Michigan really moving the ball well. Look, wide open shots.
Inside, we got pushing and shoving. And Higgins got dinged. And Indiana gets the ball out of bounds. The Hoosiers now have on the court Lyndon Jones, Jamal Meeks. That puts Joe Hillman more into an obvious forward position. Brian Sloan and Todd Jadlow. Jadlow, 6'9", 230, big man for Indiana from Salina, Kansas. And then Jones.
That's another example. No one rotating over to give any kind of help defensively. I keep stressing that. That's so important into the team concept defensively. Jones with the up and under move. Reverse layup.
Glen Rice misses, and rebound goes to Lyndon Jones.
Jones is a stabilizer in that backcourt when he inserted him at the point guard position.
Good pass by Hillman into Jadlow, knocked loose, picked up by Sloan, knocked loose from him. And finally, it is controlled by Jamal Meeks. Hillman
what a
goes
great
right
fake.
by Mills, and you got a foul on Robinson.
Wave the goal off. I'll tell you one thing. I love the way Gary Muncy made that call with tremendous authority. If more officials can do that, it would alleviate a lot of the dilemmas in basketball. He made a quick, tough call, and I respect him the way he made it. And Boba says, nice play, Gary, as he taps him on the rear end.
That's 17 fouls on Michigan and second personal.
There's the little bump, but he had it a little bit earlier.
No basket.
Hillman already has his degree. In fact, several players for Indiana have already graduated. They've had several what we call 5-year players, and they have that extra year of maturity. I would like to see them eliminate freshman eligibility. I think it's ruin college basketball. Let the kids get acclimated to college life and then be able to play. Go back to the old rule in 1972 before they implemented the new one in 73. Eliminate freshman eligibility.
You'd have 1,000 lawsuits now.
Yeah. Oh, a little walking violation.
Robinson trapped over there. Nobody coming around to help him. And then finally you get the travel.
He is really the key player to Michigan. We know about Rice certainly being a star player, but because of Michigan's personnel, if they were to lose Ramil Robinson, you throw away the key, it's over.
He looks tired, though. He's coming out of the ball game, and Demetrius Caleb goes in.
He's faced with a lot of injuries, according to Bill Frieda. A lot of nagging injuries, the thumb being
Hillman's open.
He can shoot the ball. He can really shoot the ball. A mini version of Steve Alford. Not an All-American.
Tied at 27 on Hillman's 8th point in the ball game. 6:15 to play, and Assembly Hall is rocking. Vaught is...
He quiets the crowd immediately. Hey, I like that call. Assembly Hall is rocking. You sounded like that guy Vitale.
I've been sitting around some guy who talks like that. Talks funny, you know. It rubs off. Meeks, very quick. Sophomore.
Look at that matchup. Rice playing Meeks. Oh, they're just switching Michigan defensively, doing a lot of switching. Hillman, he sent a message to me. He said, you see why Coach Knight says that I'm the MVP, Dick Vitale? I've been singing the praises of Jay Edwards, the steady play of Joe Hillman.
Make Meeks a freshman. Caleb is the sophomore, the Michigan point man. A whistle and a foul. That is the second personal on Rice.
Watch them switching defensively. They're slow now, trying to deny the ball to Rice. Trying to deny the ball. Oh, they knocked Rice down. Foul on Glen Rice. He's saying, what? Me? Wow.
Jadlow misses. Foul Sloan.
Sloan is tenacious. He is so tough. I guess he gets that from the personality. He got it from his daddy. Daddy was certainly one of the toughest in the game, Jerry Sloan.
All right, Griffin and Caleb bring it up.
Caleb getting
Higgins comes to help.
Caleb getting some valuable PT playing time now.
That's a foul, Hillman. You know what they're doing, Dick? It shows signs of getting kind of rough inside, so they're just going to sit on it. They're not going to let it get rough inside.
Exactly, and I really give them credit. I think the last few games that I've seen in the Big Ten, they're blowing the whistle a lot more to eliminate all that physical contact.
Well, if they don't, when these teams go off into different areas of the country in the NCAA seedings and the tournament, they'll get whistled right out of town.
It could affect them. You mentioned the NCAA tournament. Winning the Big Ten championship is very important in Indiana with the first two games over at the Hoosier Dome. They'll place the winner of the Big Ten there.
Higgins.
He can shoot the ball. Now, Higgins is a kid that has to develop more instincts on how to play the game of basketball, but he's an excellent offensive player, especially as a shooter.
4:45 to go first half. 2-point Michigan lead. Wolverines come up for the ball.
Find a guard. Give it to the guard. That's it. Go give it to Caleb. I'll tell you one thing. Bill Frieda gets a lot of criticism, but one, he's posted some big numbers at Michigan, and his teams really execute offensively.
Mills can't get it. Anderson rebounds for Indiana.
Mills has been one of the real major disappointments in college basketball based on his press clipping.
Great try by Jones, but it doesn't go, and you got a traveling call as Mills and Vaught both had the ball fighting each other, and it goes to the Hoosiers. Awareness. This team at times doesn't seem to have the awareness they need.
That's a good point. Awareness is so important to the development of a team. Also anticipation. They react a little bit rather than anticipate. Great teams anticipate. Teams that react are a step behind the action.
Right. Jadlow to Jones. Jones quick.
Little penetration by Jones. Very rarely do you see Indiana take a bad shot, and that is because of discipline and a man on the sideline.
31-31 at 4 minutes to go first half.
Michigan getting some good spacing offensively.
Higgins free. And inside. Vaught rebounds and a foul. Jay Edwards, the foul.
Indiana, as we look at Jay Edwards, has really overachieved all year long. We talked about their early dismal start. They were humiliated by North Carolina, Louisville, and Syracuse ran a fast break layup drill on them. Poetry in motion when they get on those skates.
Vaught. Griffin. Caleb stays in at point. Rice is back in.
They're trying to double team on Vaught every time he touches the ball inside to make him go inside outside with it, kick it back out. See, they're double teaming on a post. He's shooting with a double team. I'll tell you what, he's earning some real high credits in the eyes of the evaluators, the NBA scouts.
Got 10 points. 5 out of 6 from the field.
Oh, look at that screen right there. Jadlow laid an illegal screen.
They whistle Rice. That'll be his second personal.
They could have had Jadlow a little bit earlier. Remember, on a screen, if it's a front screen, you must be stationary. Now, take a look at number 11. He's moving right into him. And now he's going to come back on him. And now they're going to nail Rice. They nail Rice with the foul. They could have had Jadlow twice on that baseline screen.
That's 3 on Rice, Dick. 3 fouls.
We got him for 3 or 2? Well, he's got 3. He's got 3.
Shot misses by Jadlow, and Michigan comes out of there with it. Robinson back in, handling the ball.
That's why they got him on the sideline. Good move by Coach Frieda. They got to buy some time right now.
Hughes dumps it in the corner for Caleb. First shot of the ball game. Won't go. Good position by Sloan. I mean, he just laid his body on the Michigan man and came away cleanly with the ball.
They're so fundamentally solid. That's all they talked about yesterday in practice at one of their sessions. Block out, block out. Look
Great
at that pass
by Edwards.
He's amazing. He's got great eyes. Unbelievable. The 3D man. He drives, he draws, he dishes. Jay Edwards, the super South.
We're tied at 33. 2.5 minutes to go first half. Indiana trying to lock up the Big Ten for all intents and purposes. A win today. They lead by 3. 6 games to play, 4 on the road. Griffin is fouled by Jadlow.
Jadlow, the recipient of that pass. Now look at Jadlow going to lay a screen. So you're not allowed to move when you lay those screens. You got to come. You got to stop, Jadlow. You got to stop. Bill Frieda was complaining that they get a lot of open shots because of illegal screens. But watch the pass by Jay Edwards. He spins. He whirls. He hangs. He spots his open man. Wow.
Griffin gets the free throw at 2:20 to go in the first half and gives Michigan the 1-point lead.
He's a consummate role player, Griffin. Hey, you know, speaking about Bobby Knight, he told me he was ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic this week. He went to see his son Patrick play. He said, Dick, it was my biggest thrill of the week. He said, I sat there, he plays for Bloomington North, scored 27, and then hit the winner at the buzzer. Huh. He probably screamed at him and said, you didn't play the defense, Patrick. No, he didn't do that.
2-point lead, Michigan. Out of the corner, Oliphant, who's back into the ball game. Sloan.
See, Sloan, they're not even going to guard. Notice how they just drop off him? They know he's a designated screener. Sloan
forces his way to the baseline, hits the basket, and gets a foul.
Jones is playing a solid game today. He's part of the Marion connection. Jones and Edwards, what a dynamite duo they were on a scholastic level, now continuing on a collegiate level. There he is, he hangs in the air, draws the contact.
On Caleb.
See, there's certain things about winning that are unbelievable. Kids like Jones and Edwards have won in everything they've ever done, and it transfers over to the college level. I really like Gary Muncie as an official. He communicates.
Michigan over the line. Vaught stepping in too soon, and Jones, who missed the free throw, gets another crack at it, and a chance to give Indiana a 1-point lead at 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Can't leave until he releases the ball. That hurts. A point like that can come back and haunt you. But away from home, you can't give him any gimmies, and Bill Frieda knows that. Look at him with the towel draped on him. Looks like the middleweight champ. John Thompson's the heavyweight champ with the towel. There's Michigan now getting a lot more movement offensively.
They've got Vaught posted inside, but they go back to Mills, and Perry Mills hits one.
What a talent. He's multi-talented. He's great passing ability. He was really utilized on a perimeter a lot in high school, and he's got to learn how to... The basic thing I look at is his foot speed. He really has to work a lot better improving his foot speed.
You play this game with your feet as much as anything, don't you?
Yes, you do. Quickness is so essential. Oh, they missed the open man. Had his back turned to him. Got a great first half so far. Really a great first half.
Hillman
they missed
broke free inside, too, and they missed him.
Always looking for the high percentage, wide open shot.
Oliphant gets his second basket.
Notice how he's wide open?
Yep.
Discipline, discipline, discipline. They worked on that. They executed yesterday. I'll tell you one thing. The hours they put in preparing for a game are amazing.
Indiana by 2 with 45 seconds to go, and the clock running inside. Good pass to Higgins, and he took a walk. He was bumped, lost his balance, and took a walk.
There's a look at Bill Frieda, who's really been maligned by a lot of fans and the media because of expectations. But if you look at his track record, what he's achieved as a coach at Michigan, he's brought a lot of excitement. He's done a tremendous job recruiting. As here comes Edwards back on the floor.
Well, they take Sloan out. Indiana has the ball after the turnover, and they want Edwards in there for offense at 40 seconds to go, obviously looking for the basket and maybe even the last shot.
They're starting up high. They're going to try to get the last shot for either Edwards or Hillman. They know
if they draw Michigan out, though, Dick, that leaves Jones. He's the quicker one of the whole crowd.
He's very quick in his penetration. The one thing is they know their roles on a floor. They know their strengths and they know their weaknesses. They know that an Edwards is a scorer and that a Hillman can shoot the open shot.
Mills is staying in the lane, in the paint, staying at home.
That's the penetration.
Jones.
Coach Jackson analyzing. I'll call the play-by-play and you analyze. Now he'll bring Sloan back in for defensive purposes. The man belongs in a Hall of Fame, as does my buddy Al McGuire. Both those guys deserve to be in a Hall of Fame.
Well, it figures that Michigan would keep a double eye on Edwards.
There's the penetration.
And they did.
He spins down the lane. They drop off. They're anticipating the pass. So they backed off onto Edwards. They thought that Jones would kick it to Edwards, but he takes it and he scores. He's the quiet guy in their offense.
Yep. Jadlow is out of there. Meeks is in now, so you get 3 guards in there, plus the quickness of Edwards and Oliphant, so they're looking for quick defense now. Sloan having come back as well. And Jones with a free throw is good. 5 seconds.
Execution always brings about success when you have good players, and certainly Indiana has good players that execute well.
Good play by Robinson for Rice, and it's no good.
Michigan played well. Indiana played a little better as the general heads into the locker room, winning 17 of his last 18. And the crowd in Bloomington, they love it.
5-point lead for the Hoosiers at home. 42, Michigan 37.
Go. ABC's college basketball will continue after this message and a word from our ABC station.
5-5, 42-37.
Both clubs are really shooting well, Keith. You can see the effect of field goal percentages. I think the real key has been a swing in a personnel that's really excelled. There's no basic difference in terms of the stats. As we look here individually, though, a Vaught instead of a Rice. A Rice has only 4 points. He has 3 fouls. You look at Indiana, where's Jay Edwards? Lyndon Jones and Hillman have been so effective because I don't believe Michigan's helping out defensively well enough.
And yet here comes a youngster like Oliphant, who just got a chance, as you said in yesterday's practice, to play some, and he's delivered 5.
Yeah, he really has been effective. You know, he's a steady role player, but the key has really been, when you look at Indiana, was Hillman and also Jones. But Vaught offensively has been a real positive. He catches the ball inside. Edwards a little slow double teaming him. See, Edwards should go down there and take away that shot. Now, that's a tough shot, but that's why he leads the nation in field goal percentage. Vaught was very effective, had 10 big points.
44 played a major role in the win last Sunday here against Purdue, and here he is again.
Well, you look at 44, he's their leader, but that's Swiss cheese defense. Look at the hole. I can go through that, Keith. Nobody there. And then we take a look at Lyndon Jones, and it's Swiss cheese again, a big hole. Nobody rotating over. He beats Robinson. Look at Rice staring at him. Nobody comes over. Lyndon Jones gets the easy layup. The first thing that's essential to building a team defense is to provide help for one another. You play that as a team, and that's been emblematic of the success of Indiana and why they have all those banners that fly high. That's the NIT championship, NCAA championship, and Big Ten championship.
That's also why they've been selling out this building with 17,000 plus over the last 14 years, too. 42-37, Indiana by 5.
Number 3, Jay Edwards. Number 4, Lyndon Jones. Number 11, Todd Gentlow. Number 32, Eric Anderson. Number 24, Joe Miller.
Anderson, Edwards, Hillman, Jones, Jadlow answer the call for Indiana. Now Michigan comes out with Vaught, Griffin, Robinson, Mills, and Rice. That's the way we'll start the second half.
You talk about a home court facility. They're unbelievable here. They haven't lost yet here this year, but Bill Frieda's quick to remind you. He said, Dick, I've beaten them 3 out of 4 times here in Bloomington.
Romeo Robinson handling the ball out in front. Vaught picks for him, but doesn't do any good. Indiana slides off of it. They go to Griffin. They look inside where they've got Rice posted.
See, Griffin's got to look at that shot. They're backing up on Rice.
Robinson nails a 3.
Every basketball game has key segments to it, key time slots. This is a very key time element for Michigan, the first 4 minutes after the half.
Anderson takes it in.
What a good up and under move by Eric Anderson, Mr. Basketball out of Illinois.
Mills is outside. They've got Rice posted. Go to Mills now on the baseline. Robinson fumbled it, gets it back. That was the poor shot.
Yeah, now really a good shot by Romeo Robinson.
Glen Rice just got his 4th personal foul.
That really puts a lot of pressure on Bill Frieda. But if there's one area that he has ample reserves, it's up on the front court and not the back court. Higgins will come in for him.
Sean Higgins in, and Glen Rice is out with 4 personal fouls and 18:58 to play in the ball game.
And you're talking about a potential MVP, Keith, of the Big Ten. As we look at Rice now trying to fight for position inside, they catch him with a push.
Jay Edwards. Rainbow won't go, but Anderson rebounds it.
I'll tell you, he works hard as far as I'm concerned, but Bobby Knight says he's got to really improve his work ethic to be an outstanding player. Oh, he just missed it. They had Anderson posted inside.
Got him this time. Called him for a walk. And the home folks hoot.
Eric rooms, by the way, with Jay Edwards. They room off campus. Normally the freshmen live on campus, but Bobby Knight gave him permission. He said, I'm not a big believer in living in the dorms anyway, Dick. He said, so I allow my players, as long as they behave, he can live off campus, and he rooms with Jay Edwards. See, he's wide open.
Griffin wide open.
He's got to look at the basket. Griffin's got to look and shoot the ball.
Soft shot by Vaught. He continues to score well for the Wolverines.
That was an excellent pass by Griffin right over the top of the defense. The skip pass, so effective when he's throwing it over the top of the defense.
Eric Anderson has it knocked loose, but Jadlow is there to pick it up. Finally, they get it in the sure hands of Lyndon Jones. And Hillman is all alone.
Can't allow him to shoot the basketball. It's like automatic when he squares that body up. He's a member of the Oakland A's organization in baseball.
Back to a 5-point lead for Indiana.
They got to look into Terry Mills a little bit. Get him involved offensively.
Anderson with board position.
Because
Comes down with the ball.
He blocks out, Keith. He simply lay a body between the offensive player and the basket.
Edwards for three. Won't go. And the rebound, Loy Vaught.
Oh! Slam jam bam by Mr. Robinson. What leg? Bobby Knight doesn't like to see that against his defense.
13 points for Ramil. Lyndon Jones won't roll for him. Mike Griffin pins it and pulls it down.
See, this is what Michigan likes to do. Run, run, run. The quick shot.
Mills is pretty good outside.
He missed a big one, a three-pointer he tried in that last game when Indiana beat him by one. Certainly wasn't a heady play by Michigan down the stretch.
Indiana won't beat Michigan running.
No, you got that right. Their game is up-tempo. Indiana.
Edwards, good.
Half-court execution. Look at the acceleration right here by Ramil Robinson. He spots the opening deceptively quick. Oh, Hillman stepped out of the way. He didn't give his body up. I don't blame him. Look at that body coming at him.
Rob Pelinka, number 25, has come into the ball game for Michigan, replacing Mike Griffin.
Pelinka getting some playing time. He was an excellent long-range shooter in high school. Came out of Illinois, a tremendous three-point shooter. See, he's got to shoot the ball.
They're screaming for 5 seconds. Higgins fires. No good for Eric Anderson's rebound. That wasn't a creative shot at all.
Now, Higgins' next pass will be his first. I'm sorry, I'm only joking. His next assist might be his first.
Hillman dished it off to Jones, and the foul was whistled against Terry Mills, his second personal. Glen Rice, mind you, is on the bench with 4 personals.
There's the penetration inside. There's Mills coming over the top, trying to make the block. I'll tell you one thing, Frida was a lot more relaxed today. He really was before the game. Look at him right here. He's all wound up right about now. William Frida, becoming a legend in the state of Michigan.
Here we go. Oh, come on.
Jones, back iron, no good. 49-46. He blows a couple of free throws. 15:50 to go in the ball game. Hoosiers by 3. Pelinka holding it outside. Checked by Edwards.
He's picking up his dribble too quickly. That's a sign of being nervous. He's very nervous. Watch him. He'll bounce it and then give it up.
This is Mills with Jadlow on him.
He's a good passer. Great move.
Inside, Higgins.
Wow! You tell me that. Try to match that play at horse. Oh, my dear. Maybe that's why he doesn't give it up, Keith.
Playground stuff.
Woo! You learned that in L.A.
Hate to see one of those things when it's money marbles in chalk. 49-48.
Another classic Big Ten battle. Can't let him shoot the wide open jumper.
Just missed.
Good rebound by Mills. Michigan a chance to take the lead.
Robinson.
He has that great acceleration, that burst of speed. A little T.O. being called by the general.
So Michigan down by 5, comes storming back to lead, 50-49 at 14:55 to go.
Got to give him a 10 on this play right here. Woo!
How would you like to see him shoot that, though, when the game was hanging in balance? You'd faint for a week. Indiana comes up with Hillman and Jones bringing it up. Anderson, Jadlow, and Edwards up front. Michigan leading 50-49.
Some surprise players on the floor for Michigan. Pelinka, Glen Rice on the sideline. They came back with Rice sitting out.
Well, he's got 4 fouls. They figured to play him the last 5 minutes, I suppose. Anderson gives it to Jadlow. Edwards rebounds an air ball and scores.
Jadlow's struggling, but Jay Edwards not struggling. No way a guard should come down with that offensive rebound inside like that, Keith. But he's
not with that much size up front. Nope.
He's so versatile, Edwards.
Here's Mills against Anderson.
He can be so effective inside. When he's quick to the ball, they hit him at the right time. He's got a really assortment of moves inside. Look at the lead changes. What a game this has been.
Whistle.
25.
Personal foul.
Foul Palika. Griffin comes back now.
His first.
Also Sloan coming back out. Sloan screen number 45. Will Burn just pain.
Indiana plays it in with Hillman.
There goes Sloan. He's starting to keep up to his reputation, running around lane
Edwards.
screens. What a rainbow J. I'll tell you, what a sweet velvet touch. And you know what Bobby Knight's really happy about, Mr. Edwards? Had his highest grade point average academically the last semester.
Edwards with 10, Jones 12, and Hillman 13 for the Hoosiers, and Mills gets a bounce.
It's amazing when you watch that kind of talent inside, and then you wonder where he's been for so many moments on the floor.
No continuity. This is Jones sliding loose, missing, rebounding, missing. And Hughes comes out with it.
Give it up to Mills. Give it up.
No foul.
Bill Frieda can't believe that call inside. Going bananas on a sideline, and deservedly so. He got banged right there, Terry Mills. Look at the ball movement, player movement, offensive foul. Anderson says, is that a makeup?
Player control foul, Indiana. Number 32, Corey Anderson.
Well, he's been all right if he hadn't dropped his shoulder, but he puts his shoulder right in his breastbone here. Look. Boom.
He did make contact. The question is, was the defensive player over? That's one of the difficult. We talk about that so often.
Sure.
So tough for an official to make that call. They got to call it. He believed he saw it that way. Good call by Mr. Bogan.
12:40 to play in the ball game. Michigan by 1, 54-53.
A lot of screening across the lane, horizontal screens.
Griffin wide open, nobody even paying any attention to him, and Mike's still not putting it up. Higgins, nope. There's a whistle and a foul. Over the back goes Hughes.
I want to see Higgins make a pass once he catches the ball inside. His pass is always to the hoop right here. There he is right now, but he is a good shooter, and you want him to shoot the ball, but he's got to learn to give it up a little bit more and move without it, and he'll even be more effective.
Yeah, it's like who drives the Cadillacs, huh? Or who drives the luxury car? Blocking foul on Griffin. Second personal on Mike.
Mike works so hard defensively and offensively. Has some limitations. Look at him trying to play Jay Edwards. Didn't beat him to the spot. You must initially be in a good defensive stance facing the offensive player and then move and beat him. And as long as you're moving and you beat him to the spot, it's a legal defensive play. Look at Griffin working hard defensively, trying to deny the ball out of Edwards' hands.
All right, now Michigan has 5 team fouls, and Sloan goes in and misses the shot. 5 team fouls against Indiana's 1. And jump ball, Hoosiers.
What hustle and scrappiness. Remember what's at stake now. Michigan wins, Illinois and Michigan are back in a race. Illinois wins, it looks like it's home free for the Big Ten championship. The only conference, by the way, Keith, that has a pure Big Ten championship. A pure champ.
There's the man that Michigan has missed today. He has been a missing personality. Glen Rice, 4 fouls on the bench, 4 points. Eric Anderson.
Anderson spots an opening in the defense. That dislocated thumb is not bothering him at all, Keith. He's been effective here today.
Hoosiers back to the lead by 1. Sean Higgins, Mike Griffin, Terry Mills, Loy Vaught's in. Mills puts it up, doesn't go this time, and one more time Anderson is there.
He's a diaper dandy, one of the better freshmen in America. I don't know if he's good enough to make my all diaper dandy team with Mourning and Chris Jackson and Billy Owens, and Don McLean, LaFonso Ellis. What a great freshman class. I like the way Griffin's trying to deny the ball to Edwards, and Edwards is trying to work real hard to get free for the ball. That was one of the great assets of Steve Alford, movement without the ball. Look at Griffin working so hard. Oh, what a passer. Right into his roommate. They're roomies. He said, here, roomie, take it home.
Higgins out of there with it.
Let's see if Higgins passes the ball. He passed the ball. He passed it again.
Vaught hits it.
Can't let him shoot the ball. They reverse the ball, swing it side to side. Again, good execution by Michigan in their offense. I just like Sean Higgins' talent. I try to sometimes get on his case a little bit because I don't believe he gets maximum out of the great ability he possesses.
Keep switching the lead. Hillman gets in there, feeds it out. Swinging around to Jones, his quickness. And a blocking foul called on Griffin of Michigan.
Griffin is always on the floor. Unbelievable. Here's Sean Higgins with that acrobatic shot we're going to see. Now watch this play by Sean Higgins. Unbelievable. He thinks because of degree of difficulty, maybe he gets 4 for this. They give him a 10. Somebody better tell him you only get a deuce. Watch Sloan running around, lay no screens. Look at 45. Just lay the screen for Edwards. Now he's going to lay another one.
Jones curling in.
Jones says, I don't need the screen today. One-on-one. That's Keith Jackson's man. You like Lyndon Jones.
I don't think Michigan's got anybody as quick as he is.
He is very quick. Michigan now trying to rest Robinson. Really hurt. They really don't have an effective backcourt player.
They got Palinka in there again.
Rita trying to buy some time.
This is a 6'10" man out there dribbling the ball at the top of the key. Vaught hits another one.
He's like automatic every time he catches the ball. You're right about Terry Mills. He has a tendency to want to demonstrate those perimeter skills and play like 5'10" instead of 6'10". Really impressed with Griffin's work ethic and with Vaught's ability to get free and shoot the open shot.
I tell you what, playing outside like that, Mills ain't no magic.
There's only one magic out of Lansing, only one.
Higgins comes down with the miss. Griffin shoots it underneath.
Great
Beautiful pass to Mills.
The diagonal pass, excellent pass by Mike Griffin. I'll tell you, Michigan, you better believe Lou Henson right now saying, come on, Bill Frieda, get us back in the race.
Wolverines up by 3 at 8:50 to play in the ball game. Edwards.
Deep clutch. They need the big bucket. Whose hands do they place the rock? They give it to Jay Edwards. He just suspends that body in the air. Watch the way he hangs in the air here, Keith. There he is. It's like a ballerina. Look at him up in the air. High wire act. Ringland, Martin, and Bailey Circus.
Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor.
Elgin Baylor. There's a name in a pass. You're right.
Oh, I never saw anybody hang like he could.
You know what's amazing with Elgin Baylor? One time he had 73, I believe, at New York at Madison Square Garden, and all they talked about is that he couldn't go to his left. He would go to his right and tell you, I'm coming to my right, and still get 73.
Yeah, well, folks find fault with everything. You give them long enough time, you spoil them enough, right? Yeah. 60-60.
We got a good one, partner. Big Ten race here.
Foul inside. Michigan. Vaught has 2, Robinson 2, Griffin 3, Rice 4, Mills 2, Caleb 2, and Palinka 2. So the Wolverines have been whistled a lot today. And going to the line for the bonus situation now is Hillman, because that is the 8th team foul.
And Indiana's only got 1 team foul. So down the stretch, that could play some big news.
Big argument as to who was going to shoot.
Yeah, Hillman tried to sneak on that line right
Joe
there.
was up there, and they ran him off finally and put Sloan up there.
Sloan says it doesn't matter. Bobby Knight clapping, applauding Sloan. You know, you look at all the statistics team-wise in the league, and Indiana's really in the middle or down below. Oh, look at Jadlow.
Jadlow got away with a push and a hold.
But there's one key statistic which separates them from everybody in the league. Field goal percentage defensively. The opposition only shoots 42% against Indiana, and the next best is 48%. And that's why they win. Defense.
Meeks is in the ball game for the Hoosiers. Edwards working against Romeo Robinson. They got Meeks wide open.
That was a great pass by Edwards. A tremendous pass. He's seen Meeks. He throws the skip pass right over the top of the defense. Jay Edwards deserves credit right there. Here comes the crowd.
Michigan needs a bucket here to calm down the sea of red. Rice is back in. They got to put him in. And Robinson gets the three to tie it again. 63-63, just inside 8 minutes, and Robinson has 18.
What a competitor, Ramil Robinson, the big bucket. Tremendous piece at halftime, showing what this kid has achieved.
Oh, boy. Terry Mills saved that one. Meeks was almost gone, and Mills cut him off.
Yeah, Mills did a good job giving help defensively. Oh, they double up on him.
Robinson kicked it out of bounds.
Anytime you spin dribble and you try to whirl, you're susceptible for the steal or the deflection.
7:34 to play. It's even at 63. That'll be followed by Passion in Paradise.
I would like to post up on Mickey Rooney. He's about the only guy I could score on inside. Little Mick, take him to the goal.
Don't be too sure. He's a tough customer. Jadlow inside. Got it.
Oh, Jadlow, where have you been? Are the Indiana fans calling out?
I'm not sure he didn't get away with another push.
He had the big game against Iowa, 32 points.
65-63, Hoosiers back to the lead. 7 minutes to play. Higgins, Robinson, Rice back in there. 4 fouls, remember. That gives you a defensive weakness. Robinson leans into Jazz. There's your principle of verticality, Dick Vitale. He finally saw it. I've been waiting all season to see it.
Oh, Nelly, there was a turnover there, Nelly. He didn't play defense.
Meeks, the quickness of the freshman.
He is very quick. Plays really tough on the basketball. He wants the ball. He was a last-minute recruit, almost signed with Minnesota, Wisconsin. Indiana got him at the last moment. Meeks.
Edwards against Rice. See, he got Rice right where he wanted him. Just down on the baseline, and Glenn couldn't do a thing about it.
He's an excellent baseline shooter, and he leans in so well. This is a big possession for Michigan. Their biggest possession of the game, down 4. The crowd has arrived here.
Rice doesn't get it. Jadlow.
They got the shot they wanted in the hands of their scorer, Glen Rice.
Points in the paint. Look at that. IU 40, Michigan 22. Michigan much bigger on the front line.
And that's where we thought Michigan would have to dominate inside with Vaught, Hughes, and Mills.
Good play, Robinson. He's gone.
He's got great legs, tremendous bounce off the floor. He anticipates well. What a big bucket, because it was a 4-point turnaround in that possession. If Indiana scores, they got a 6-point lead.
A little bit of a lazy pass.
Yeah, very lazy. Telegraphed it.
Edwards is inside.
Oh, what an amazing basket! MVP, Jay Edwards, number 3.
He's got 16. Robinson has 20. No basket.
I'm going to start a campaign for Jay Edwards as MVP. If Indiana wins again today, that would be 18 out of 19 games. And I'm telling this guy right here, the general, I totally disagree with Mr. Knight when he tells me Hillman is the most valuable player in Indiana. He'd say, hey, Vital, you want to check your record versus mine?
Yeah, he'd say, or who owns the ballot box?
That's right. Look at this shot. I mean, they got hands in front of him. Griffin's doing all he can to stop him.
But by playing Rice, and Bill Frieder has to right now.
He's got to play him on the floor. Jones is playing him right now.
You got 4 people on defense. The ball stolen by Edwards.
He passes the ball well. He shoots the ball well. He's improved defensively. He's clutch. What more must he do to win the accolades from the general?
His grades are up.
He's done it all.
Lyndon Jones, he's against Rice. Everybody's trying to take the ball against Glen Rice now because he's got 4 fouls.
Yeah,
Jones would be the logical man to do it right here.
Looking right at him.
He's flattened. No foul.
Indiana's certainly going to be the team of the 90s. What a recruiting class the Generals assembled. We met one of his recruits today, Chris Reynolds, who almost went to Duke or to Michigan, a class kid from Peoria. You talk about teams of the 90s, LSU, Georgetown, Indiana, Georgia Tech.
Ball's in his hands, clock stays the same. Ball's in his hands.
These officials have done a solid job here today, Keith.
What they want is the clock to stay where it was, the shot clock. He did not shoot. So the clock stays there, and it's now 10 seconds as Hillman puts it up. Won't go, and a rebound to Loy Vaught. Look out for Ramil Robinson. Good pass, but it is stolen away by Indiana. Then Mike Griffin picks it up. Hillman had it. Jadlow was after it, and they really couldn't control it. And finally, you wind up with a foul.
Robinson was a split second late with the pass to Rice. Rice was wide open. Ramil took one extra dribble, and it allowed the anticipation of Hillman to deflect the ball.
Indiana still has 3 fouls to give, though. Keep that in mind. Whereas Michigan's been in the bonus a long time. Mike
Griffin's got to look at the basket, get in triple threat position. He's a good shooter. He's got to shoot the ball. They're not even guarding him.
Rice forces and fouled.
I can't believe that Mike Griffin, you watch him shoot in practice, Keith. He has excellent touch. He doesn't even look at the basket.
Where was it we saw him? Was it Purdue? They stood off of him. Finally, he took 4 shots and made 3.
They played so well against Purdue. See, he's trying to pacify everybody else on the floor, trying to get the shots to the Rices, and certainly you can understand that to a certain degree, but he's got to shoot the ball. It'll make life easier for everyone else.
Anderson commits this foul.
Look at this. They're not even playing him. Number 3, Edwards, is allowed to go down inside and double up.
69-66, Indiana, 4 minutes and 9 seconds to play in the ball game. Beckelman's out of there, and Anderson rebounds it.
Now they rotate Griffin out on Lyndon Jones, and Ramil Robinson rotates over on Jay Edwards. You talk about 2 tough competitors going head-to-head. They're going to use the clock, spread the floor, play for the high percentage shot as usual, ball movement.
Anderson inside against Mills.
2 essential parts of every good offense, ball movement and player movement.
Jay Edwards' rainbow won't go down.
See, right now you have to know your options on the floor. You got to know who's number 1, number 2. Rice has got to assert himself right now offensively to get free. Edwards trying to deny him the ball. See, Glenn's got to move a little bit more. I know he's saddled with the 4 fouls.
He's got the shot, but he won't make it. Jadlow rebounds. Anderson Jadlow had sealed it off inside.
Not a good shot there by Glen Rice. And again, an excellent job by Indiana blocking out. One of the lost arts in college basketball.
3 minutes to go. Edwards. Rebound, Mills. Robinson with 20 points. Splits the defense.
He's a good open court player. Going to be a solid NBA player. That's a part of the game that would absolutely frustrate Bobby Knight. No one rotating over to give help.
1 point Indiana lead. 2.5 minutes to play in the game.
As Griffin's playing up on top on Jones. Jones should have a little bit too much quickness for him.
Hillman's got Rice on him now, Dick. Doesn't he take that ball and go right at him?
Yeah, with the 4 fouls, but they're trying to use some clock now, trying to kill some time with each possession. Tempo's so important.
Hillman, that's not a very good shot. That one just was almost an air ball, and Robinson's with a chance to give Michigan the lead, and Edwards won't have it.
Robinson is so effective once he catches the ball in transition. Could be that thumb. Could be that thumb.
Looks like he's hurt that left hand.
The thumb has been a problem to start with.
Left hand or right? It's a right thumb, isn't it? It's a right thumb.
You talk about injuries. We want to wish a speedy recovery to Jay Burson, one of the most exciting players I've had the opportunity to cover over the years. There's a look at Robinson. Now there's the contact.
Yeah.
And remember, he has a thumb problem. Jay Burson broke a bone in his neck. Now there's Jones. Could have been called right here for a bump on Griffin.
Edwards 3 fouls, Anderson 3 fouls. The only 2 Indiana players with any sign of foul trouble.
Jay Burson, I hope and pray he's back and get an opportunity in the NBA. What a competitor. We miss you, Jay. Get well.
The game is tied at 69 with 2 minutes and 11 seconds to play. And timeout called by the Michigan Wolverines. So here we go again. Right down to the last tick. A graphic to show you how Indiana has been successful in close ball games.
5 games they've won down the stretch in the Big Ten. Certainly has turned their season around, and a lot of that is due to the man sitting on that sideline, getting his people to demonstrate discipline and excellent shot selection down the stretch.
Michigan by 1. And it's coming up on 2 minutes to play.
See, it's so important in a close game that the players respect your knowledge and respect what you're telling them. And Knight has such great credibility on that sideline.
Michigan 3 timeouts remaining. Indiana 4. Jones blows by. Jones is fouled by Griffin.
They isolated Jones in a one-on-one maneuver.
Personal foul on Michigan, number 20, Mike Griffin. Personal.
I know it's difficult to start jamming in all kinds of information on what is ahead, but as Jones slides by and Griffin steps in, getting the foul, again to say that a win here today for Indiana gives them a 3-game cushion and 6 games to play.
They would be in fantastic shape. They have 3 on the road, but remember now Ohio State without Jay Burson, they have a tough trip at Minnesota, and Michigan State, they should be ready to beat a Michigan State team that certainly doesn't have the great personnel. But again, it's still on the road, and life on the road in the Big Ten is not easy.
Jones ties it at 70. 1:52 to play in the game.
He was very confident today, Bill Frieda. He said, we're going to win here today, Dick. We're going to win here today.
This is the 11th time the game has been tied. Jones missing the second shot, and Loy Vaught hands it over to Ramil Robinson.
In the first meeting between these two teams, it came down to the last second, and it was a bad shot by Michigan.
Foul Sloan. Rice will go to the line.
I really like the idea that Rice wants the ball late in the game, that he's coming to the ball quickly. A lot of great players may be great for 36 minutes, Keith, but they disappear when the game is on the line.
Substitution for Jamal Leach, number 23.
Look at Glen Rice moving without the ball. He says, get it to me. Get it to me. See, they were a little bit late getting him the ball, or he would have been wide open for the unmolested shot. Recognizing when to get the ball is so important.
Griffin and Higgins. Mills come back now for Michigan. Frieda starting to make offensive, defensive substitutions when he can. 71-70. Wolverines as Rice converts it. How many points does Rice have now? Dave Burnson, he has 6 points.
Yeah, they've been able to take the lead here without having a big day out of Glen Rice. Robinson's played so well.
It's 2 for 9 from the field.
Yep, he's had a bad day. I think the foul trouble psychologically has really affected him. But right now, Bill Frieda's not concerned about Rice's stats. They need a defensive stop.
See, now 3 guards in for Indiana now. Meeks, Jones, Hillman, Edwards, Anderson.
You have to know who your options are. There he is.
Right past Griffin.
They want to get the ball in the hands of Edwards or Hillman. They're their money perimeter players.
That's 5 fouls on Mike Griffin. He's got to come out of the ball game.
He's really worked so hard defensively. People will look at the box score, and they're not going to see any numbers from Mike Griffin. But what a job he's done in all the little intangibles on the floor. I just wish he would think a little bit more offensively.
Vaught comes in for him. Sloan comes back in for Indiana now, and Meeks comes out. Edwards, 13 points in this half, has 17 in the ball game. 1:22 to play, and Michigan leads by 1.
This is where he usually excels late in the game. That's a big loss, Mike Griffin going to the sideline. He was a real steady defensive player.
Watch behind you.
Missed it.
Oh, big miss. He had 38 in a row at one time in the Big Ten on the free throw line.
Mills and Higgins. 3-pointer.
What a big 3, a trifecta. You know, that was a good shot. Inside, outside, and that is his range. That's a good shot for a Sean Higgins.
Hillman. Up once, no. Slapped out by Michigan, picked up by Edwards, and fouled by Robinson.
How big is this game? Lou Henson's jumping up in his home in Champaign. He knows he's back in a race. The general knows he wraps it up. Frieda knows he's back in a race with a W here today.
75-71 Michigan, and Edwards going to the line with 54 seconds to play.
There's Hillman, doesn't have the size to bother Higgins on that shot. There's Bill Frieda calling a TO.
Michigan now with 2 timeouts remaining and only 54 seconds remaining in the game. Michigan coming in today at 7-4. Michigan trying to tie with Illinois for second.
Don't forget that Indiana has another date with Iowa at Iowa, and that's a tough place to win.
That's the last game, too, of the season.
Michigan's done a great job keeping the crowd out of the game today by staying on top most of the way or right in the battle.
3-point difference now. Indiana's 14 out of 23 from the foul line. He got them both.
Now discipline becomes important for Michigan. Right now they need execution. They have to really utilize the clock. Now here comes the crowd, really rising to the occasion here.
Lyndon Jones on Ramil Robinson. Joe Hillman pursuing Higgins. Terry Mills outside. Sloan on him.
They want him to go between the legs out there. Got to get the ball in the hands of Robinson.
Well, they post him up inside. Ball was slapped into backcourt by Sloan, so no violation. Robinson comes back out again now. He was posted a moment ago.
Edwards really banging inside with Rice.
Higgins goes to Rice. Missed the shot. Anderson has it.
No timeout being called. They're going to try to push it up for the
Lyndon
score.
Jones.
If he's not MVP, Keith, you got a scoop. Look at Knight. Now, my friend, that's not coaching. That is pure Hail Mary time.
Here it is, and right here, Bobby Knight is screaming, shoot the damn thing. They almost the buzzer, the game is alive until the buzzer sounds in basketball.
Yeah, in college basketball, the zeros do not indicate that the game is over. It's the sound of the horn. And look at Knight. He says, just like I designed. Look at him going bananas. The man's won so many games, but it's Jubilation City for the General Robert Montgomery Knight. You're exhausted, Keith. I tell you this is better than football.
You know, you'd think it was a national championship, wouldn't you?
They're going to try to push it up.
It was good because Gary Muncy called it immediately because apparently it was his chore to watch the clock, and his colleague Bova on the side with Valentine, both of them are listening, obviously, because you've got to be listening at that point because it's the buzzer that matters. And they all three immediately signaled good.
You know, that's a theory in coaching. A lot of people are probably saying, why no timeout? Some people don't believe in breaking the flow and getting a timeout, and Indiana decides to go, that's an NBA trifecta. They decide to go right out of their offensive set without the TO. Dean Smith does that all the time down in North Carolina.
How far out was that, you reckon? 25 feet?
It was a bomber, baby. I'm not too good measuring. That's my one eye, my left side. I can't see that far.
All right, now, again, go back and listen to the natural sound on tape. Watch Edwards, watch your clock, but listen. The important thing is listen for the buzzer. got it away. I mean, you can literally deal in milliseconds under those circumstances.
In the NBA, when it shows 0, the game is over. In college basketball, the horn must go off.
Well, I don't know what else we can do for you, folks. If you didn't like that one, stay tuned for UNLV in Temple, I guess. Have been about as an exciting a basketball game as I guess you could ever hope to have. And the thing to do right now, you can see how the folks around this neck of the woods feel about things.
I'm going to present this to you, Keith.
It is not as premature today as it was yesterday because they're now at 11-1, and their closest pursuer is a full 3 games back. Looking at the conference standings, you can see now that was an enormous loss by Illinois yesterday. Up at Wisconsin.
Yeah, it really was. Wisconsin really now is making a run for the NCAA. Yoder's done a great job. There could be basically 7 teams possibly from the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament. The first time ever that would happen. That shows you how tough this league is. But that was a big loss, but not shocking because Wisconsin beat Michigan. They beat Iowa easily there. The score was really surprised me, the way they won so easily.
But the way this one finished today, it just takes your breath away.
It's amazing. I just love Jay Edwards. I get to admire and respect the way he's battled back from some adversity in his life. He's really proved it both on the court and off. He made the clutch play last week to beat Purdue when he made that big shot down the stretch. I told you, I'm going to start a campaign. I want all the Indiana fans to write into the General, and you tell them the MVP of Indiana's team is Jay Edwards. Now, I love Joe Hillman. I think he's a great team player. But Jay Edwards, to me, is the guy that deserves the most valuable player award for Indiana.
You have to come back here probably one more time. You keep inciting that kind of stuff, you may wear out your welcome.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Generals know to change his opinions of you quickly. But
this is the way the game ended. Up.
The key is that the ball is released before the sound of the horn.
Now you see the referee Muncie right there immediately calling it good, good.
And he says, look at this guy. He's normally calm. He's cool. And right now he's going to be collective, too. Look at him.
Yeah, but you know what? The Indiana team, with a little time remaining and all the timeouts, it looked as if they might have expected him to call a timeout because they didn't move it all that swiftly up the court. It was almost a lackadaisical move up the court. He's standing on the sidelines, and I could almost hear him saying, shoot the damn thing, because time was running out.
I think you make a great call right there, Keith, about the fact that they were anticipating the TO to time out, and then it wasn't called. As I said earlier, a lot of coaches, the philosophy is, let's get the shot in our normal offensive set rather than call the timeout and really have a difficult time sometimes getting the ball in bounds.
Well, we hope you enjoyed it as Indiana wins at 76-75 and has pretty much a stranglehold on the Big Ten title chase right now. Coming up next, the second half of today's doubleheader, the Temple Owls led by
anybody to play with.
Against the running Rebels of UNLV. Now, that's where they have fireworks indoors in Sharks Tank. I mean, it is showbiz.
Those fans go bananas, making a big one-on-one player. Stacey Augment is by choice as the best defensive player in America.
Goodbye from Indiana.
ABC's college.
It already going to overtime. But when I seen he got stopped, I just knew might as well go for the win.
Eric Anderson got the rebound and kind of hesitated with it for a little while. I think it took him about 3 seconds to get the outlet pass out, and then it took me like 3 seconds to get the ball up. And then I found Jay, and I threw it to him with 2 seconds left, and he got the shot off with 1, and we won the game.
Did you hear people yelling at you? Were you aware of it? Did you start to hear that?
No, I was going to try to drive to the basket or pitch it to Joe in the corner, but I happened to see Jay coming around the top, and I threw it back to him.
Well, I think Jones was just looking for Edwards and Edwards did a good job getting open. I mean, I really thought that Jones was going to come into the top of the key and take the shot when he came across the 10-second line. And but you know, Jones has played with Edwards a lot longer than I have.
I tell you what, we're